Well, hello. It's time for our weekly update. It is Thursday, October 29th. I don't know about you, but as I think about what's going to be taking place over the next 5 days, there is a lot packed into these next 5 days. We've got Halloween this coming weekend. The election is 5 days away. Changing your clocks this Saturday evening before you go to bed. There's so many things going on, so many things to remember, and that's why I'm here each week, hoping that the updates and the reminders that I share will become etched in your minds, or if you need to, they're still going to be available for you to go back to and check out once again through our YouTube channel. So let's go. First of all, I mentioned setting your clocks back. Just a reminder to set your clocks back an hour on Saturday evening. You get that extra hour to sleep in, unless you want to be an early arriver to everything that's on your schedule. If not, be sure to set your clocks back, and you'll be in attendance for worship this coming Sunday at the appropriate time. So that's the first reminder. The second reminder pertains to the Be Rich in Action Sunday that's taking place Sunday, November 22nd. I've been mentioning that date to you. Let me give you some details now. We may be living in some unusual circumstances, but life continues to move on. Individuals and families are facing greater challenges, and many are struggling to survive. And this is where we as a church family can step in to help lighten the burdens that so many are carrying. I want to strongly encourage everyone who is connected to First Southern to pray about what you can do to help meet the growing needs facing many within our community. So on November 22nd, we'll be receiving children's coats, children's socks, non-perishable food items, and a special offering will also be received. And the coats and socks will be given to one of the Lawrence elementary schools here in town, and then also to a service agency in Ottawa. The non-perishable food items will be given to the food pantries here in Lawrence, a couple of them that we're going to be working with. The offering that is received, and it'll be a second offering in addition to just our regular tithes and offerings that we give, that offering will be divided between the school and the Ottawa Service Agency. Now, here are the goals that we've set for this year. 200 coats, new coats, for children of all ages, 900 pairs of socks. That may seem like a lot, but that's what we received last year, is over 900 pairs of socks. And then we've set a goal of $2,500 for our offering. And then just lots and lots of non-perishable food items. We're providing multiple ways that you can deliver these items to the church. One way is you can bring them to the church on Sunday morning, the 22nd, and we'll have boxes and tables all set up that you can place those items there. Second possible way to drop your items off, you can drop them off at the church on Sunday afternoon, the 22nd, between 2 and 4 p.m. I will be at the church, and you can just drop them off at the church, and I'll take care of getting them from your car into the building. So that's another way. The third option is you can drop them off to the church during the week preceding the 22nd. So that's multiple options, and I hope one of those options works for you. The needs are great, as they are every year, but they appear to be even greater this year. So let's just do all we can to serve our community, to share these gifts, and to share God's love with every person that is a recipient of these gifts. The next update pertains to our Pastor of Worship Search Committee. This committee has been diligently working through the process to find the candidate that God has selected for our church. And as a part of that process, the committee wishes to gather some basic information regarding our worship services and the experiences for each participant in those services. The search committee will use the information gathered as a way of informing potential candidates the congregation's desire regarding worship. And the findings from this survey will also assist candidates in having a better understanding of the congregation that the Lord may be guiding them to lead. The survey is going to be available through an online webpage, which is the preferred response method. You can go to the church website, www.fsbcfamily.com, to find the link to the survey. The survey will also be available in paper form at the welcome counter in the lobby for those that cannot access the online version. Now, the online survey and the paper survey will be available beginning this Sunday, November 1st. Please don't delay in completing that survey. Survey responses will be due no later than the end of the day on Sunday, November 15th. And if anyone has questions about the survey, they can reach out to Phil Corkins, who is serving as our chairperson. You can contact Phil through his email address, and that is phil.corkins@gmail.com. Once again, that's phil.corkins@gmail.com. Or you can contact Jared Mann, a member of the committee. His email address is jaredmann, 2 N's, @gmail.com. So that's JARRODEMANN @gmail.com. Or you can contact Jared at 785-218-2752. The next update, it pertains to our Christmas Eve service. Of course, that'll be on December 24th at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. We're having 2 services. To remain in accordance with the Douglas County guidelines that are in place, we're having these 2 services, and each service will last approximately 45 to 50 minutes in length. This will allow for more to attend and still provide a safe environment for all who are in attendance. Social distancing measures will be in place, as well as wearing of masks will be required for those services. We ask that everyone attending register in advance for the service that you'll be attending. And this will allow us to provide adequate seating in both the 5 o'clock and the 7 p.m. service. Registration for these Christmas Eve services opens December 1st. So December 1st, just be aware of that. Final update pertains to our live streaming. Last Sunday, we experienced some technical problems during our 8:30 service, and as a result, we were only able to live stream a very small portion of that service. And so that's the reason you're unable to view that service through our YouTube channel. Everything worked fine during the 11 o'clock service, and our hope is that the problems are solved. Thanks for your understanding. Thanks for just being so flexible and working with us. We want to make sure we're providing everyone an adequate, well planned out and service, and we just want to make sure that that works for everyone that's viewing those services online. That's all the updates for now, but I do want to share something for you to consider. You know, this Tuesday is an extremely important day for our country. Tuesday is Election Day, and we will be voting for national, state, and local candidates. I voted for the first time when I was 18 years old, growing up in Wichita, Kansas. And in the 42 to soon to be 43 years that have followed, I cannot remember a time when our country has been so divided. Yes, our country's had its share of heated elections, but what I'm seeing now causes me to think that our country is at a boiling point, and things could blow at any time. In the 12 years that I've served as senior pastor, there have been 4 general elections take place. I've reminded those under my leadership of our responsibility as Christ followers to vote, to pray for those who will be elected, and to pray for our leaders, those in authority over us. I've never voiced my support of a specific candidate, and nor will I. However, I will say I've spoke about the election that will take place on November 3rd, calling us to pray more than any other time during my tenure. And why is this? It's because of my concern for our country, and because of what I've seen and heard and read. And I'm concerned now how we as followers of Jesus Christ will respond to all that is and will take place leading up to Tuesday, November 3rd, and the days that will follow. I'm concerned as to the vote and all that's going to take place in each election. I'm concerned as to the role that the church will play in all of this. I'd like to share with you an excerpt from a blog written by Trevin Wax. And Trevin Wax serves as Senior Vice President of Theology and Communications at Lifeway Christian Resources. And he's also a visiting professor at Wheaton College. But he writes this: both geographically and digitally, we have self-segregated into like-minded enclaves where we rarely deal substantively with people who hold different political perspectives. How should the church respond? What can Christians do? First, we remind ourselves that our king is not up for election, that our faith is global, not national, and that politics, while important, is not ultimate. In other words, we lift up the prominence of King Jesus in our thinking and demote the politics of this world. We are to engage in the political process out of love for neighbor, not out of fear or anger. We vote, we serve, we participate. But we do so as exiles and sojourners, not as people who pin all our hopes to any party or politician. Second, he writes, it's possible that church-going evangelicals are more likely than other Americans to come into contact with people with different political beliefs. Furthermore, 58% say that they have someone they would consider a close friend who differs from them in having a very different political view. This means the church has a grand opportunity to show a watching world what a community looks like where allegiance to Christ transcends the political differences of the current moment. We can push back against the trend of making nearly everything in life political and of reducing people to their political views. The commission we have from our King that does not distinguish between party affiliation. We are called to make disciples, and not only of Republicans or Democrats or independents. We cannot be satisfied with the enclave of our landslide county if we are faithful to our calling to lift high the glory of Jesus. We as a nation, as individuals who make up this nation, we have turned inward more than ever before. And what I mean by this, we've become more concerned with ourselves. We really shouldn't be surprised by any of what's going on. We really shouldn't be surprised by the lack of love and forgiveness or by the hatred being expressed in our country. Jesus said there would be more evil in the world. We have become more critical and rude and quick to judge. And truly, we are seeing sin increase and love decrease. In the book of James, James offers this to us. In James chapter 3, in verse 16, for wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and evil of every kind. When we all come to fully realize that we were made by God, and for God, things will begin to change. You see, it's not about me or about you. It's not about us. We are not the center of the universe, and everything does not revolve around us. God and God alone is to be the center. The only way to change all that's going on in our nation is to change our focus. Jesus is to be our focus. Isaiah offers this to us in Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. Verse 4, trust in the Lord always, for the Lord God is the eternal rock. Trevin Wax concludes his article with this. So whatever happens on election day, don't be shocked. Be settled. Firm in your faith, kind in your convictions, gracious in your words, generous in your actions. We belong to a community that believes there is no election shock and surprise that compares with Easter morning. You know, I believe we serve a risen Savior, and He's in the world today. And we need Him. Our nation needs Him. Church, let's do our part in this upcoming election. But above all, let's focus on Christ through all of this.